life journey. And two, as Sam Yun did, I have an action item for you at the end of the speech. So I'm going to make a case of why everyone, not just geeks and computer scientists or robot scientists, but everyone should know about this and learn it. When I was in the fourth grade in elementary school, I was seriously addicted to video games. You know that 오락실, when you put 3 cents, 30원 into the machine, and you can play 보글보글, bubble, or 너구리. You compete with your friends how long you can play with 30원. And I was really bad at first, but I got really good at that. Later I could play an hour, maybe 2 hours with just 30원. That was incredibly rewarding experience to me as a kid. You know, you're achieving more and more day by day, and you see that you're growing day by day. But that was a problem. I was too addicted that I even stole money from my mom's purse to play video games more. So my mom was very, very much worried about this. You know, I was going too extreme. So after consulting my teacher, she took me to a computer institute, computer academy, when I was in 5th grade. And that changed my life and career. Because my interest was diverted from playing games. I was still enjoying playing games, but I got more and more into software programming. That's when I did my first creation. I made a simple shooting game and also a speed typing game, and I showed it to my mom, my younger brother. They loved it. I was very proud of myself. So I kept doing it. I studied more and more. That's what led me to this clicker. Suddenly, it was working fine, but yes, it is working now. To study electrical engineering and computer science. But I really enjoyed it. That led me to the next step called Gamevil, which is a startup that was founded in 2000. As you see, Game. It is a game company. So when I was in school, I met these other geeks who were very into computer science, and we met every Saturday morning. You know, college kids, instead of sleeping, we met Saturday morning, like 8 a.m., 9 a.m. We were that much enthusiastic about this, and then we started talking about maybe we should do a project together. And then we found someone else who was about to start a company in 2000 to make games. So why not? You know, I always wanted to create games myself, and this is a great opportunity. I should do it. So I jumped into it and started building games after games. When you think about 2000 or 2001, we didn't have a smartphone. We didn't even have a color phone back then. When if some of you remember that, we had this black and white phone. We started building games for that type of devices. So 24 kilobytes, that was the limitation of a game size. But we nailed it. We created an RPG game, you know, some Zelda type of RPG game, and became very successful. Year by year, the revenue grew after year by year, and it was only $500 monthly revenue at first, but it grew to $100,000 per month and $1 million per month. I spent 7 years there, had so much fun. Now the company is public in Korean exchange market, and it's growing even further. So now the market cap is more than $500 million. It's a $650 million company. So many people ask me, why? You know, it's a successful company. Why do you leave? I was attracted to California, really, frankly speaking. I wanted to come to California, live there, and build my second stage of my life. So with that goal, I applied for a couple of business schools in California and got admitted to UCLA Anderson School and spent one of the best days of my life in Santa Monica. I lived by the beach, 13 blocks from the beach. It's such a beautiful place. So had so much fun, learned a lot from classmates, with classmates. And then it was 2009, right after financial hit. So there were no jobs. Gratefully, thankfully, I could leverage my prior experiences, especially my technical skill. I had lots of experiences with Java, and that led me to this company. I really wanted to come to Silicon Valley, what is so-called Silicon Valley, the heart of the technology. So that's when I landed here. And I was very, very happy. And I started to explore. Now that I have achieved my goal, living in California, go to Bay Area and start working there. And then I started to explore something else. Back then, I was a single, and in California, you have, and hired by this corporate, you have so much time by yourself. After work, like 6 p.m., you have all evening to yourself and weekends. So I started to write. So Selena, she mentioned how her bilingual cultural and bilingual language helped her to have very unique perspective of this work and how she learned about herself. That's what I did. So I started to write about maybe some cultural differences, and I started to write about technology. And then I just started to write more and more, and I found out that people appreciated these articles. And so far, 2 years, I have 760,000 visits with 86 articles. That's almost 10,000 views per article. So with that, I started being more and more active on Twitter and Facebook. And being a blogger is a good way to get followers. So about 2 weeks ago, finally I got this K in my following. And I'm also a co-president at Bay Area K Group. It is a non-profit Korean professional network in Bay Area. We are very selective in getting membership. I served as a vice president 2 years ago, and now I'm serving as a corporate president. With a friend of mine, I made one more, something called Valley Inside. It's I had similar passion that Selena had. I met so many successful people around me. I wanted to write about them, write about their story, personal story. So I started posting article by article in this blog. Some are Koreans, some are just pure non-Koreans, and some of them are related to Korea. So I started to write about it, and I felt very rewarded. So these are about me. I do some investments too. And this is the company that Seju Jung founded, WorkSmart Labs. So he spoke at TEDx conference last year. And most of them are quite successful. I'm very happy for that. So that's about me. But here, my second topic is having lived in Silicon Valley, having had these experiences myself, I'm now more and more convinced that really people should know about this and learn about this. And it's not that hard. And I realized that when I started to meet people in Silicon Valley, it's a place, a very unique place where people appreciate technical background a lot. When you're in a company and when you're an investor, whatever background you have, people appreciate if you have a technical background. And I met some friends who moved from New York or other cities who came to Silicon Valley, and their first question was, I'm going to go and have an interview with these companies, startups. I want to work for startups. But they constantly ask me about technical background. How do I make up for it? And then I said, just learning. You can just do it. You can start from today. It's not going to take years after years to just learn the basics of programming and software. It doesn't take that much effort, so you should just start today. And some of them asked me for help, so I started teaching coding 101, and they picked up. No matter what kind of major they had before, after a few hours, they got the sense of what this was about, and they finally realized what API meant. So, so I realized, maybe everyone should learn about this, and there is a reason for that. I think so much of this world is now being built on software, more and more, and it's about just understanding your surroundings now, because it's the same way as you learn history or physics, then you can understand better about the world. I think it's becoming not the same yet, but it's becoming more like that. And here's another reason. Marc Andreessen, a very successful investor, founder of Netscape, he wrote an article last year on why software is eating the world, and it got so much likes, and people shared the article. I loved it. I enjoyed reading this article. And he's saying much of the value chain of industries it is eating, and they are widely viewed as primarily existing in physical world. And his last comment was, "I know where I bet my money. That's where the money is going to grow. More money will go there." And it's this guy. And he gave a few examples that I want to explain here. So Skype is eating the value chain of long-distance telecommunication. It was acquired by Microsoft recently, and so yes. And Netflix, it's a DVD delivery company, but at the same time, it's a software company. They have an incredibly good recommendation system built on machine learning, and that is what keeps competitor from entering into that market. And they are now very successful, transitioning from that DVD delivery to a more and more pure software company. They are hiring tons of software engineers, and many of the people I know are working for Netflix as software engineers. And LinkedIn, you put your profile there, but it's not just a resume catalog company. It's actually eating the recruiting industry. So people have been, it was a physical world before, not online. People who know other people, they introduce these people, but LinkedIn kind of automated it. They use this connection, first connection, second connection. So majority of their employees are software engineers. And Walmart, it's another retailer, but Walmart's core competitive advantage is in software. They manage all of these with logistics, very complex logistics, and lowering their cost using software. Google is not a search engine company. They are not making money out of search. They are making money out of this kind of catalog, search advertisement. So people have been getting mails at home before, targeted mails, but now people are getting information, relevant information, and they do some action on Google's properties. And Amazon.com, you buy stuff from there, but it's also, I met these people before a couple times, and it is a software company. They are building everything on software. And Square, if you don't know, it's a new company that is trying to replace credit card industry. And there are taxis in New York, which has this Square terminal. You can pay with Square. Plus, Pixar, it's not an animation company. It is a software company. Disney was making animations before. Pixar came out with this idea. Maybe we can build a whole movie using 3D engines, and they did that, and that was incredibly successful. People loved it, and finally, Disney had to buy this company. Finally, Apple, hardware company, we love this beautiful hardware, but you know how good their software is. So these are kind of eating the traditional industry, and it's going to be more and more like that. So one of the keywords of 2012 is big data, and people talk about it again and again, and it is actually really becoming interesting as with the advance of hardware. And let me take one example. That's a service called Zillow. It gives you the price of each house. This is a district in Palo Alto near University Avenue. Quite expensive. So these houses, they didn't put their house on the market at all. So the homeowner may have lived there for 30 years, but these houses are priced by Zillow, and the way they do that is through something, this is a very, very primitive form, but something called machine learning. So the computer and machine, it can learn itself. In the past, computers could only do what we ordered them to do, but not more and more. Computer is capable of learn something by itself, and then adjust itself, and then that's how it does. So number of bedrooms, number of floors, ages of home, and price. It's like a multivariate regression model, and using this data, you can train the computer, and then once it is trained, then you can put new data into this box, and you get the result. Result is the home price. Another example is, this is Picasa, and it does facial recognition really, really well. It even does that, these are myself, and when I was very young, I don't even recognize this sometimes when I just scroll down. And it does know. Picasa knows that these are actually the same people, even though these are young kids, and this is when I was maybe 10 years old, even younger, but it knows that these are the same people. So how does it do that? Through machine learning again. There is something called neural network. If you remember Biology 101, human brain is comprised of billions of neurons. Each unit has input and output, and it's interconnected, intertwined together to learn something. And your neurons are formed when you're a baby, when you're very young. That's why babies are constantly experimenting around the world and hit here and there, just touch anything, fire or whatever. They want to form, they want to make their own neuron system. So people with the advanced of technology, you can, maybe not billions of neurons, but at least tens of millions of neurons, you can emulate it. And by doing that, it can do something like this, more advanced technology. So let me give you something I did to make the case even stronger. One of the first things that I did at Oracle was to survey people. So I used SurveyMonkey, surveyed about 2,000 people, and I was just reviewing this result and saw the IP address of each person. So I looked at that and thought, I have the IP addresses of these people. Maybe I can use these to visualize the location of the people. So, because I knew that IP address has relationship with your physical location, not very accurately, but at least it can know about the city, or maybe even further. So I knew that, and I started doing some research, and I found this database where when you just put that IP address into this, and you get longitude and latitude out of it, you can use it to do something on the map, maybe later. So that's what I did. These are the IP addresses of those people who took the survey. And I put that into this library that I got. And I put this code actually to explain and how intuitive and easy it is actually. So that's the database. And then I that's a loop. I do this again and again for each IP address and get location from that IP address and store it to here. And with this, you get latitude and longitude. That's it. Quite simple. It's not millions of code. It's not tens of thousands of lines of code. Actually, the actual code is longer than that, but this is the core. Once you know that, you can do something else. So that's how I got the longitude and latitude. With that, the next step is to visualize this on the map. So I went online again, I looked up Google, and I found out that there is an API, Google Maps API, to do that. And the same way, so using this Google Maps API, I can make markers using that. Here, there are longitude and latitudes, so using this, I can draw this. So here's the result. If you can switch to the browser over there. So that's those are the people who took the survey, and you can zoom in using your scroll and zoom out. And I showed this to people, and they loved it. You know, they are from everywhere. They are from Chile, and they wanted to see if there are people who took the survey from their hometown. So that was much more powerful than saying, you know, we have 2,000 people who took the survey. So you can do that if you can switch back. Just one more case. And last Christmas, I had my own creativity initiative. So I wanted to give something. I wanted to create something to celebrate it. And then what I thought about was maybe I can create a mosaic, a big collage, using the pictures that we've taken together, and then create another picture. So I thought about this algorithm, and it's actually straightforward. You know, you just divide the picture into cells, many cells, and just calculate the average color of each cell. You know, you can understand that. And then once you calculate the color, then you can find from your own picture, other set of picture that kind of matches with that average color. And then you can start stitching it into this canvas. That's what this does, and that's the result. So you can see that these are like white background pictures from the wedding, and these are dark background pictures, and that's me and my wife. And if I zoom in further, you can see how they're good. So it was fun. It didn't take too long, and it was fun. So these are the examples, and this is how I think about software these days. People have been inventing from day one, from the entire human history. People, you know why people invent? People are lazy. You know, they want something else to do their work. So instead of walking 10 miles, they want something else to do that job for them while they are sleeping. So they invented all kinds of things it's kind of an extension of your arms and legs. But they could not come up with something that could extend your brain. But now is the time, actually, when you can truly do that. You can extend your own brain using software, and that's the Google car. You know, you can drive better, actually, than you do. You can swing between obstacles, and then you don't have to memorize locations anymore. So, how can you learn? You can, there are really many good sources, and one of them is Code Academy. It's just step by step. Kids can do that. Kids just go there, and then it asks you to type what's your name, and then you type your name, And then it starts to ask what's the length of your name, and then you just follow that instruction, and then actually you're doing coding, and then you can learn the software. Another source is Khan Academy. It's very famous for math education, but they hired a lot more people with the grant, and now they have created these courses because there are needs. People want to learn about this. And you can draw this funny thing using this simple code, and you just follow it. This is my favorite, Coursera. I think this is the future of online education because so far when you try the online education, they are just videos. You just watch the video, you get bored, you stop at some point. But this one, it gives you review questions and programming exercises. It makes you to keep up to the class. And I am right now taking a class here, a couple of classes here, and I'm having a lot of fun. So, with that, January 1st, 2012, I saw this tweet. This guy, the city of mayor of New York City, who's got $22 billion in assets, 10th richest person in America. He is 70 years old, and his resolution for 2012 was to start learning coding at Code Academy, and millions of people joined this. I'm not sure if he actually has achieved this by this point, but it says something. I think it says something to all of us that this is not something only specific people can learn or specific people can like. This is something that will impact your life, the future, and maybe your later, maybe your kids even more. So maybe as a side effect, it can take you out of game addiction. Thank you.